Stephen. Look, already musically there are lots of good things in place, especially, I would say, the character of the piece. What I would like to get more are the nuances and the contrasts in sound and color of the sound. You're moving back and forth, which is very good to bring the different colors. But there's something about the attack, especially when you go on a high register, that you want to get. When you're getting that first string to the attack becomes a little bit, I would say, slower and softer. What it does, it creates the sound that it's not that projected, that it's not like, it's not that when I hit it very fast, but it's more sort of like gives it a little bit lighter feel to it. Okay, that's one thing. And then another voicing dynamically. If we have a bass, if we have a chord, let's say bass chord, and then the melody on the top. I want to bring that not on the same dynamic plane, but a very different, and to give a depth to it. Because the melody comes at the different times. One it's on the top, sometimes a little bit more in the bass, sometimes it's towards the end you have it in an inner voice, where, like for example, hey. So I want that to be out there, very. You have the accompaniment very different. So think of it like a piece for orchestra. So the different instruments are assigned to different lines. Okay. So let's start from beginning. I want a little bit even longer phrase. So when we start here. Let's say that these 4 measures will be like one unit. Not to think each measure, but there is a certain sense of line going through, okay, towards here. And as I played now, a little bit more of sort of like a dreaming character, not too defined at the beginning. Are you familiar with Satie?
Yes.
Yeah. Play me like that. Very melancholic. So that's too defined tone for me. This is this. What you did, I'm plucking, if I'll do this, you see? That's this. This is like just brushing on the strings to diffuse the tone. And it's not to define it. So play it like lighter. When you get to this, let the D ring, because you have ta-di-da. Let that stay in your ears so that everything that happens afterwards, it's pianissimo. Huh? Because I want that top line to ring there. Ta-di-da. Let's say that's an oboe. And it's diminishing. Huh? Play me that. Accent on the first bass, because you ended up here very delicate, like a swing. Play me once again. From there. The last one also with the staccato. Just lift. fourth strings. Otherwise you have this shift, which is also okay. The advantage of this one, because is to be in the same position. It might be a little bit more difficult to grab this. If you want to stay here, show me again how are you doing. Okay, maybe this. Only this, only this. Now, this is the problem. This finger is pushing up. I want a little bit more. This becomes more secure. Yeah, feel the connection of your shoulder to this. Okay? That's more secure. You feel it? Okay. Now, focus on the feeling in the third finger. Drag it down to D, and then that's what has to happen. You can't. Yeah. Your whole body has to be in this position for this to happen. You cannot drag with your fingers the body into it. The body has to lead the fingers into this position because they have more job to do and they are more delicate. So the body is a bigger mass. Body has to go lean down to this. So when you're playing, you have to be sort of already here, leaning towards this position, getting the shoulder lower. So playing once again this. Do it slowly. I want you to already on an E flat. It's still a little bit late. I want you to be ahead with your body going down. Yeah. So that's one, I would say, suggestion to execute it better if you're living in that position. Otherwise, play there. Okay, let's go on there. Don't play me the second notes because this is accompanying line. Not on because I'm not interested in here ta ro di ro di da because this is ta di di da. Yeah. So the chord significantly softer. Play me once again. Play this. Only this. That's it. Softer. That's it. That's it. There is the same. There it is, the melody. You see? B, A, B flat A. There it's in the same dynamic level, but here not. Play me once again this. See that? Once again. Yeah, that has to be the top. F has to be the loudest. Hold it up. Play with that. You move your right hand in the last moment here and becomes too ponticello. Give me just this. That's a nice one. Once again, vibrato. That's what I want. Play again. Go on. And watch out. A, G, then B flat, D, down. Not so much allowed on the harmonics because this is again the T, da. That's the line that stays. Everything else softer. So play me this. more delicately. Now you have the harmonics. With a very delicate feeling. Very gentle, that's it. And turn around. Play me this line. So as you're going towards the first string, make sure that your right hand is going towards the fretboard, not there. Because you end up playing the top line with the A finger and it's too bright. What is that? Again, watch where your right hand picks the last note. Swing it even more. Yes, it's much more beautiful tone. Because it's too bright here. See? That's it, go on. Watch out again the tone. This you have to think it. Here's the thing, we have a melody on the top. Let me see. That's the melodic line. So we are playing one line with your fingers, then you have the chord, then you are playing it in a different position, then this is within the chord, this melody here within the chord itself. Then you have the octaves. The melody itself, it's technically aligned with so many different ways of executing the notes here, resulting in a very different color when I hear it. Ba 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 ba, yeah, so it gets a whole different colors, where you have to think more melodically, how do I want the quality of the tone on each of those notes that are on top to be the same, no matter what I'm doing around it or underneath it. Okay? So listen for that. Let's do it very slowly. That one, for example, when you play this, play me this F. Listen to that tone. That's one note with A finger. Huh? Play. And then the next melodic note is with your thumb. Play me the next. Make sure that those two, this A and P, have the same color. Play exactly the same note. Play me E flat. That's close. Feel it? Yeah. So when you play this, I think you have to have this to the C. Yeah. So what happens is that you see what I'm doing. I'm dragging your arm a little bit more like this. Rather than just tossing the wrist like this, what happens is you will lose the angle for the last note if you do it like this. So lower your whole arm then for this. With an A in the bass, I believe. No? Yes. Go on. Tempo. Not so loud, that one. Watch out. A, G, E. Not so loud, not bouncing. Tam, pam, but tam. More crescendo. The middle voice. Oh, that was. I heard the most this one. Now, You're playing this with the I finger, huh? Play me only this line. G again. Do it again. Give it more mass. Yeah. Don't pluck it just with the tip of your nail because it's going to be thin. Dig into it a little more. That's too much nail. That's better. That's better. That's perfect. Now let's memorize where that is in terms of color and the volume and fullness of the tone. Do it again. Let's hear it. Beautiful. Excellent. Now play me the other things that surround it. No. I just want the other things. I don't want this one now. I just want... Look, I want a D and... See? Yeah, much softer. Do it again. Only this. Remember how was G? Play me G. And this one. Play together. It's becoming thinner. Still becomes thin. Don't put these two. Focus on this finger. Elevate the wrist a little bit. Let me see. Okay. Push with your I finger deeper in the string. Give it more mass. That's better. Still, it's not the same as it was when you play that. When you play with the thumb, changes the way you attack it. Play it alone. You see that? Your finger sits on a different place than when you hit with the thumb. Don't change that. Play with the thumb. Together. There it is. Once again, a little bit louder. Loses that fullness still. Keep that fullness. And then very light on the rest. Still it gets like that click with the nail. You hear it? That's better. Difficult to get it when it's within. It's easier when it's alone. So the thing is that it doesn't. Okay, play me this. Let's see if we can solve that. Play, just keep repeating. Now focus really on a physical sensation in your finger. How is to plug that note even fuller, a little bit louder, and keep repeating it. And now add the thumb on every second of those. That's it. Not so loud, not da, that's the melody. Don't hit the A. Your tone, very delicate. Watch where your hand. That's it. That's it. That's too slow. Those are four. Those are now 5 notes in one measure. So you have 1, ti, pam, da, da, ti, ta, ti, pam. Yeah. So put a metronome on one beat, and then fit these 5 within. If you want to make a little ritardando, that's fine. But what is happening with ritardando is ritardando has to begin within the same tempo and then slow down. You cannot just make these way longer, then they don't really fit that much, okay? So in terms of sound, you're recognizing these things, you can work on it, and the piece just gets a more sort of dynamic depth. Very good.